Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Thank you very much for watching this channel. Do please like and subscribe. It's down there, folks. And also, there's a link to my book. Yeah, I see that Alex Chalk, the Ministry of Justice Minister, is now proposing that he is going to release prisoners 60 days early. That's to ease the overcrowding in the prisons, which the current population of the prison system is 88,650, something like that. And the total capacity of the prison system is 89,000, so it's at capacity. So the way that they're going to resolve it, and this is a reasonable statement from the Ministry of Justice, in my opinion, is that they're going to allow low-level prisoners to be released, as I say, 2 months early, and put them back into the community under supervision of the probation service, which is already at full capacity. So how they're going to do that, we don't know, but they're supposedly going to use electronic tagging. There has been outcry from the Labour Party that are saying that this is the government putting the public at risk. I mean, low-level offenders, people who don't pay fines, people who don't pay the television licence, releasing them back into the public domain is not going to create any great problems for the public. I mean, imagine how terrifying it would be to live next door to somebody who didn't pay their television licence. Imagine that. It's going to be a tragedy, isn't it? They don't know what they're doing, shouts the Labour Party. And do you know what else they're saying, the Labour Party? They're saying they are going to build more prisons. That's it. Nobody knows what the use of prisons is really for. As I said on previous occasions here, it should be, first of all, the protection of the public and the rehabilitation of the offenders. Those should be the two criteria. If you got one, protection of the public, and then you've got two, the rehabilitation of the offenders, because that's exactly what it needs to happen. That's what happens in prison systems that actually work. People like Norway and Sweden, Holland and all that, they've got prison systems that actually do function to serve society. What do our prisons serve at the moment? Well, they preserve the authority of the government, because basically if you don't comply to their authoritarian regimes and pay everything, your taxes, your rates, your fines, your TV licence, all the rest of it, if you don't fall into line and do that, then you get before the magistrates. And the magistrates really should be really proud of themselves, don't you think? Yeah, I mean, have you been in a magistrate's court? 60 cases a day, every one of them guilty. I mean, that kind of conviction rate isn't found anywhere else on this planet, except in places probably like Nigeria and Russia. And even there, they might have a brief chance. You've got no chance over here. No. I mean, basically what they're doing there is that the magistrates are not administering justice. What they are doing is rubber stamping the charges. Years back in the 1950s, 1960s, the magistrates' courts were known as police courts, where the police actually presented the evidence against the offender, or the alleged offender, the accused, and the magistrates decided on the weight of the evidence presented by the police. Now, it's not done by the police, it's done by the Crown Prosecution Service. And the Crown Prosecution Service, and I don't forget, I have been there, they stand up in court, they've got some lawyer there, stand up in court with a piece of paper, and it'll say something like, the accused is charged with doing 35 miles an hour, and then the accused says something like, Where's the evidence? Oh, there's a piece of paper here that says you did it. Oh, where's the evidence? And the magistrates will intervene. They'll say, well, what's your defence? Don't you think that's a little bit kind of upside down? It's not British justice, is it? I mean, basically, your defence is, I didn't do it. Prove it. Where's your proof? Well, I got a piece of paper here that says you did. And the magistrate, well, we've got to think about this. You've been fined £180 with £200 court costs, and yeah, that's what you get if you plead not guilty. Court costs. Otherwise, you just send in your money and they'll put it in the bank. But nowadays, we've got and if you don't pay the fine, I mean, then you go to prison. And the prisons have got no ability to accommodate you. So what they're doing now? The Labour Party have got the answer, folks. They've got the answer. Build more prisons. Somebody wants to get hold of these people and bang their heads against a wall or something and say, what are you intending to do with the people in prison? Because they don't know. They aren't rehabilitating them. They're not teaching them anything. What they're doing is abusing the system by maintaining a form of authoritarian tyranny over, basically, let's face it, folks, it's the working class. Anyway, that's what's happening today. You can read all about it in the Independent newspaper, which has published it today. You can have a look online, actually. Look online at the Independent newspaper. It's got an account of all this. And the Tories are saying, well, we're going to spend £55 million on dealing with this situation. But come on, more and more prisons are not the answer. The answer has got to be treat people with respect and decency, and the people that really do pose a threat to society, the people who are extremely violent, people who are dealing in cocaine and spice and all the rest of it, well, you can bang them up, yeah, why not? But when they're in there, explain to them, put them on a course that teaches them how to operate within society without getting themselves into positions where they're committing criminal offences. But criminal offences should not include non-payment of fines and imprisonment for failing to pay your rates or stuff like that. It's just nonsense. It is nonsense. If people had the money to do it, then they'd pay it, wouldn't they? Tales from the jails, folks. And now it's that time. Yep, I'm going to read you a poem, man. Not sing to you. Although I might sing to you a little bit. Should I? No. Big cry of no there. Tell you, I haven't heard from Larry the Goat, heard from a long time. I'm going to read you a poem here. This is by Alfred Lord Tennyson, and it's about the transition between this world and the next. It's called Crossing the Bar. The bar is, of course, a measure that's used at sea, and that when you cross the bar, you're going into another area of the sea, so it's called Crossing the Bar by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Sunset and evening star, and one clear call for me, and may there be no moaning of the bar when I put out to sea, but such a tide as moving seems asleep, too full for sound and foam, when that which drew from out the boundless deep turns again home. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from out our bourne of time and place the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. Crossing the Bar by Alfred Lord Tennyson. This is Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please like and subscribe. You like my Batman behind me?